1. Find your square. Remember, your knees are pointed at me the whole time. Hands are in your own lap.
Mommy, this might go that way.
All right, voices are off. Here we go. We are reading The Pig in a Wig today. Pig in a wig. It's a silly one. I have 3 words I want you to listen for in this story. The first one is proud. Say that word with me. Proud.
That means to be happy.
That means feeling super happy about something you just did. I'm so proud of the numbers I just wrote on my paper. Feeling proud. You feel really good about something you just did. I'm feeling proud about those numbers. Say proud with me one more time. Proud. Thank you. The next, if you hear proud today, I want you to rub your belly. Okay? That's our signal that you heard that. The next one I want you to hear is awfully. Say that word with me. Awfully. Awfully. That means very bad. Awfully means very bad. Feeling very bad. Say that word with me one more time. Awfully. The last one is ugly. I bet you've heard that before. Say that with me. Ugly. It means not very good looking. Not very good looking. So I colored a picture, but I scribbled all over it, so it was kind of ugly. It wasn't very pretty.
Yeah, like you naked, like Captain Underpants, he's ugly.
He's an ugly guy. He's an ugly character in a story.
Yeah, and he only wears underwear.
All right, let's say that word one more time. Ugly. One more time. 1, 2, 3.
Ugly.
So if you hear the word proud, rub your belly. If you hear the word awfully, rub your belly. And if you hear the word ugly, rub your belly.
Oh, I need to catch a I hate all of them now.
The other thing I want you to listen for when I'm reading today, this pig learns something in the story. I want you to listen for what the pig learns in our story.
Ugly.
Maybe. Let's listen and find out what he thinks about himself, or she thinks about herself. All right. The Pig in a Wig by Alan McDonald.
Alan McDonald.
I don't like old
Just
McDonald.
like McDonald had a farm. I like
Good connection.
McDonald's.
Bubbles are in.
McDonald's has food. And they have toys.
Once there were some animals who lived on a farm in a humble, tumble-down barn. One of them was called Peggotty. Peggotty was a polite, kind-hearted pig, but she was rather proud of her looks. She spent hours admiring her reflection in the duck pond. She believed she was the prettiest, pinkest, most perfect pig in all the world. She's very proud of how she looks. One morning, some lambs passed by the farmyard gate on their way to the fields. Peggotty was gazing at herself in the duck pond, as usual. The lambs were very pleased with their new woolly coats, and they hadn't learned any manners yet. They stopped and stared at her. Ugly old pig. You're pink and fat, and you're bald, too, they bleated. Thumbs up if you think they're being nice. Thumbs down if you think not so nice.
No.
I want you to turn and talk to your partner.
What can I talk?
Find your turn and talk partner. Go with Cole.
Just Kelsey, I don't think they're being very nice.
Crosby, can you talk to Allie? And Eliana talk to Evan? You can scoot a little closer if you want, Crosby. Sammy, you get to talk to Miss Jenny today. I want you to talk to your partner about how do you think that piggy's feeling right now after they said that. And tell your partner, and nicely tell your partner why. Nicely tell your partner why.
I feel sad because they've been I'm sad. Miss Kelsey, are going to knock that because
How's the piggy feeling?
sad. Good. We're going to knock that gate down.
But what if there's a mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were saying mean things to her, right? They were teasing her. Right, come back at 3. Nathan, what was your thought? They were being mean, so it probably made her feel sad. I heard a lot of friends say that.
I said that.
They were not using nice manners. The lamb skipped off giggling, leaving Peggotty to gaze at her reflection again. Instead of the prettiest, pinkest, most perfect pig, she now saw an awfully ugly, bald pig. A tear trickled down her snout and plopped into the duck pond. Why had she been born bald? She wondered. There must have been a mistake. She dried her eyes and decided to ask some of her barnyard friends. She found the old horse munching hay in the barn. "Excuse me," said Peggotty, most politely, "but could you tell me why I'm bald?" "Bald? Ah, yes," the old horse said, clearing his throat. "The reason you're bald is you have no mane." A mane is this part of the horse's hair. He replied, "And please," said Peggotty, "is that what makes me so awfully ugly?"
I need to get it right. I heard ugly.
Rub your belly, that's how I know you were listening.
Awfully ugly.
"Why, of course," nickered the horse. "There's no finer thing in all the world than a glossy, galloping mane." "I see. Thank you." Peggotty trotted into the barnyard, where she spotted a marmalade cat curled up in a sunny spot. "Excuse me," said Peggotty, most politely, "but do you know why I'm bald?" The marmalade cat opened one eye and looked at Peggotty. "The reason you're bald is that you're wearing no fur," she replied. Peggotty nodded sadly. "And is that what makes me so awfully ugly?" "Of course," purred the cat.
Miss Kelsey.
"Just rub your belly. There is no finer thing in the world than lickable, tickable fur." "I see. Thank you." Nathan. Just wait. Tell me later. For the rest of that day, Peggotty hid herself from the other animals. It was after dark when she returned to the humble, tumble-down barn. Only the moon was out. Oh, luminous moon, that means shining moon. Why was I born so bald and awfully ugly? To her great surprise, a voice replied, "The reason you're bald is that you have no fabulous feathers to flaunt." Peggotty looked up. It wasn't the moon talking after all. It was the singing rooster on the roof. "Can you help me?" asked Peggotty most politely. "I've asked everyone why I'm bald and awfully ugly. And they say it's because I haven't got a glossy and galloping mane or lickable, tickable fur. Now I don't have fabulous feathers to flaunt either, but I don't see what I can do about it." The rooster strutted back and forth on the crest of the roof. It would indeed be a strange and wonderful sight if a pig could grow feathers. The rooster crowed. Suddenly, Peggotty had an idea. Without thanking the singing rooster or bidding it good night, she trotted to the barn. Turn and talk one more time. What do you think her idea is? Turn and talk one more time. What is her idea? You talk to Omar. Eliana talk to Evan. What's her idea? What do you think she's going to do? With sticks. What did you guys think? What is she going to do?
I think she's gonna chop up make fur.
Make herself some fur? Is that what you thought too?
Oh no, Miss Kelsey didn't know those.
What did you think? Dressed up.
Me.
She has feathers and fur. Or what did you think, Sarah?
I think he's going to
3, 2, 1.
I think he's going to turn to hair.
You think she's going to grow some hair?
Yeah, I think she's going to get a wig.
She's going to find a wig. I heard some friends say she's going to find some new friends. Maybe she'll find some new friends to see. Some friends said she's going to make some fur or make some hair out of twigs.
I said that.
Watch, wait, see?
Did you know I said she was gonna make feathers, find feathers and make them.
Could be. Let's see what happens. All that night while the other animals slept, strange rustling and scuffling sounds came from her corner. When the first sunlight crept to the barn, the rooster crowed and the animals stretched and yawned and shuffled out to the yard.
That's when she got a wig.
Everyone stared at Peggotty. Overnight she had grown hair, golden locks of hair as curly as a pig's tail. Peggotty tossed her head proudly and paraded in front of them.
Oh, what do I do?
Proud, you heard part of that.
What do I do to see?
Mice?
Yeah, mice are there.
Just then, the young lambs passed by the gate, following their mothers to the field. Look at that pig! What's she got on her head? The pig is wearing a wig, they cried. They all crowded around the gate, bleating and giggling at poor Peggotty. The pig in a wig, the pig in a wig, they teased. Peggotty's pink face turned red. She spun around and fled up the hill. She didn't stop running until she reached the big farmhouse at the top. There she crept into the shadow of the wall and wept. Let's cry. Tears ran down her plump cheeks, and the straw wig lay crooked and crumpled on her head.
Sometimes I cry.
Wah, wah, a voice wailed nearby. Peggotty sniffled and listened. It was coming from the farmhouse. Hush, hush, my darling. Don't cry, my precious, another voice sang. Standing on her hind legs, Peggotty could see in the window. The farmer's wife sat on the floor, washing something in a tub. In the tub of water lay a baby human. Its eyes were scrunched up tight, and its two tiny hands waved in the air. It was as pink as Peggotty. But what surprised her most was this. The baby was completely bald. It was pink, plump, and perfectly hairless.
What does blonde mean?
Plump?
Yeah.
It's kind of fat.
Oh.
Babies are sometimes a little fat and chubby, right?
Yeah. Sometimes my baby is fat.
Yeah. That means they're healthy.
And my
So I want you to think. We're just going to raise our hands for this one. What is the same about the pig and the baby? Connor, what do you think? We're just going to talk to me about this one, Cole. Just raise your hand if you have an idea. Connor, what's the same about the baby and the pig?
They're both fat.
They're both a little bit fat. Plump is the word they use. What's another thing, Omar? Sarah Jane, we're going to stand. What's the same about the baby and the pig? We said they're a little bit plump. What's another thing that's the same? Think about these two. What color are both of them? Pink. Their skin's a little bit pink. Okay, that's one thing. What's the other thing, Cole?
The pig is gonna do the
Just think about what's the same with the pig and the baby. You keep thinking. Addie, what was the other thing? They're hairless. They're bald. They don't have any hair. No hair on the baby. No hair on the pig. No real hair on the pig.
Yeah, just pretend.
Let's see what happens. The farmer's wife tickled the baby's round tummy. You're beautiful, my beautiful angel, she cooed. The baby began to gurgle and giggle. Peggotty pressed her face against the glass, smiling back. At that moment, the farmer's wife looked up and saw the bewigged face at her window. Help, she screamed. A horrible, hairy monster! Peggotty fell over backwards with a fright. The crooked and crumpled wig fell off. She left it in the mud and galloped through the gate down the hill.
Wait, that's what horses do. Gallop.
Yeah. That night, Peggotty told her story to the other animals in the humble, tumble-down barn. And so, if you are hairy, humans think you're a horrible monster. But if you are bald, and here she smiled, they call you an angel. And they say you are beautiful, she added, holding up her head a little bit higher. Peggotty had never worn a wig since that day, and she doesn't believe that the finest thing in all the world is a glossy galloping mane, or lickable tickable fur, or fabulous feathers to flaunt. She thinks that pigs are born just perfect. So that pig learned a lesson in this story. What do you think that lesson was that the pig learned? Addie, what are you thinking? What do you think the pig learned?
That she was good.
Yeah, she was good all along, right? Did she need any hair to be beautiful?
No. I know.
What are you thinking, Omar? She was, I'm thinking of a P word. Perfect. Perfect. She was perfect just the way she was. She didn't have to change.
Why did
She
she
was
have
perfect.
hair? Yeah, in the ghost were teasing her.
Yeah, they were teasing her, so she tried to change, but she didn't need to change because she was perfect just the way she was. Just like all of you. Perfect just the way you are.
Yeah. And I have the hair.
Thank you for listening to my story today.
Miss Kelsey, guess what? I don't have